So here's a recap of the test you just took. Find each key feature of the function. First up is range, which is your output y. I'm tired, so I really don't want to spend a lot of time on this. You have a low value of 0, high value of 2, nothing, and then a 3. There she is. There's a gap. There's literally no y values. Domain is your input, your x, left to right. Now you do have a hole here. You know, on your twin, I actually wrote that -4 to 0 union with 0 to 4. Because that's right. But what's also acceptable, and it's the way your author does, since we have a bracket here, is just to say -4 to 4. Ta-da! The graph is increasing, is right here. From x values of -4 to -2. Choice E. X-intercepts. Oh, the number of kids who miss that blows my mind. There's nothing there. That's a hole in a graph. There's nothing there. It's not a hard concept. There's literally nothing there. The only x-intercept you have is at 0, -4. Or -4, 0. I said it backwards. Choice D. Y-intercepts. Again, there's nothing there. It's got to be there, which is at 0, 3. I'm sure a whole bunch of you guys picked D, and I'm sure a bunch of you picked B. Average rate of change from -4 to 0. Now, I've already drawn all over this thing, but here's where x is -4. There's where x is 0, because the function's there. And you rise 3 and you run 4. I can see why kids pick C. I do. C is a good distractor. 7, line passes through the points -2, 3, and 4, 6 was the equation of this line. The first thing you got to do is find your slope. There's a formula for that. You've been supposed to know that since you were a little kid. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 6 minus 3 over 4 minus a -2. And some of you kids who hadn't figured out how to find slope yet, I don't know if it's occurred to you that it's time for you to get a little smarter. The slope's a half. Gone, gone. If you picked B or D, you know nothing. You need to fix that in a hurry. Now, you got another form you're supposed to use. It's called point slope form. Y minus y1 equals x minus x1, m times x minus x1. I'm just going to throw away this point and get x1 and y1 there. Y minus 3 equals 1/2 of x minus a -2. And I made the numbers nice. I mean, you ought to know how to take half of 2. Half of 2, kids. Taking away negatives, addition. Y minus 3 equals 1/2 x plus 1. Add the 3. Bam, choice C. To reflect across the x-axis, the rule is that f of x becomes negative f of x. So I'm going to wrap that in a negative symbol. And I'm going to distribute the negative to the understood one there, and to that 7, negative absolute value of x minus 1 minus 7. I do not have the ability to distribute inside. I cannot enter the bars. Can't do it. Anyways, what is that? It's choice C. On this one, all right, some of y'all have a slightly modified version of the test, but this stuff will still line up. Where is the graph y equals -2 plus the absolute value of x minus 2 increasing? It says increasing, right? So -2 plus math num ABS x minus 2. Zoom 6. This is increasing. It says increasing. That's increasing. Starts at 2, moves right forever. 2 to infinity. Identify the transformations of the parent function f of x is absolute value of x that gives g of x equals 2 minus negative absolute value of x plus 3. Let's start with that. That is a vertical reflection. That negative symbol is. So x-axis reflection. This is inside, affects output, affects left to right. It's left 3, always opposite. So horizontal shift left 3. And that is outside, up 2 because it's positive 2. Vertical shift up 2. Let's see, 11 was done on the answer document. You were supposed to graph that piecewise function. I made it as easy as I could. They were all line segments. Oh, they were all lines. So if I'm stuck between 0 and 1 non-inclusive, I'm negative 2. So 0, negative 2. 1, negative 2 with an open hole because symbolism. Now I'll make a little table for the next one. 1 to 2, those are my x values. If I plug in a 1, 3 minus 1 is 2. If I plug in a 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. If you don't know that, you don't know jack. Symbolism says they're both solid. 1, 2 exists on the grid, as does 2, 1. Connect the dots, you got a line. And then you got 3. That's for 2 to 5. Let's just think about this table. The input is x, the output is 3. 3, 3. If I throw it a 2, I get a 3. If I throw it a 5, I get a 3. Open hole at the 2 because there's no equality. So the right 2 up 3, open hole. If I throw it a 5, I get a 3. Oh, it's still right there, isn't it? By God, it is. Ta-da! All right, on to 12. Oh, I made this so easy. I did. I'm going to focus on this. I am looking for x greater than 2. Gone. All right. I'm going to focus on this piece right here. I am looking for 1 less than x less than or equal to 2 because open hole and solid hole where x is 1, x is 2. Again, I'm looking for 1 less than x less than or equal to 2. Okay, that didn't gain me anything. Now I'm going to look at this piece, running left. I am looking for x less than or equal to 1. That one's still gone. 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 Look at stuff like this. If you picked B, you don't know anything. Absolute value of x, its absolute value is a v. Do you see a v? Gone. Choice D. All done by elimination. Arithmetic means you add or subtract the same thing. Talked about that. You add or subtract the same number. What are we losing here? This is minus 3, minus 3, minus 3. Choice 1. This is minus 19 plus 21 minus 23. No. This is plus 0.2, plus 0.2, plus 0.2. Yes. You only had 2 blanks, but this is minus a half, and then it becomes minus a sixth, and then it becomes something else. Minus a 12th, I believe. So no. 14 was wildly missed, and I have no idea why. I guess it's because you don't remember that is called the previous term. So the rule says the first term is 5, and you couldn't really screw that up. The next term is 5 minus 5, which is 0. The next term is the previous term of 0 minus 5, which is negative 5. And the next term is the previous term of negative 5 minus 5. Choice A on this particular test. Find the sum of this sequence. What you could have done is you could have filled in the blanks. Negative 8, negative 11, negative 14, negative 17, dot, dot, dot. Continued on forever. You could have, all the way to negative 56. Or what you could have done is you could have used a formula. Sum of n things is n over 2 first plus last. And you know some of this. You know the first term is 4, the last term is negative 56, and use your God-given brain to figure out how many things there are. Your explicit rule for this thing would be that you'd be the first term 4 plus n minus 1 times the difference of negative 3. And you know the last thing is negative 56. And distributed, by the way. 4 and 3 makes 7. 56 minus 7 is negative 63. That equals 3n. There are 21 of these things. I got a sign mistake somewhere. But anyways, there's 21 of them. Oh, it's right here. There's 21 of them. You might still be writing up here. I don't know. Most of you who write out, 1 in 3 of you will make a mistake. But that being said, not a whole lot of people get this either way. Negative 546. In a theater, there are 20 chairs in the first row. You could have gone old school. You could have said 20, then 24 because it says 4 more, then 28. Maybe you don't understand what 4 more means. I don't know. Then 32, 36, 40, dot, 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 until you got to the 15th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It wouldn't have taken you that long. Or you could use a formula. The sum of 15 rows would be 15 over 2 times the first row of 20 plus the last row. I don't know what the last row is, but I know that to find the last row, a sub 15 is the first row of 20 plus 15 minus 1 times the difference of 4. That's what I know. And that came from a sub n is a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. That's where that came from. 15 minus 1 being 14 times 4 plus 20, 76. Put a 76 there. 15 over 2, 20 plus 76, 720 chairs on 16. Trying to finish this up on my lunch break. I'm literally in here on my lunch break for you. That's why I'm not happy. You suck. 17 and 18 are using graphs. So, onto the document. Use a graph to solve this. Left 1, up 1. Rise 1, run 2. 1/2. Rise 1, run 2. If you're listening to things muted, there's your problem. If you're looking at this while you're listening to some music, there's your problem. If you're not watching this at all, there's your problem. Absolute value of x just being the straight up v. And there's your answers. You have an intersection where x is negative 1, and you have an intersection where x is 3. That's not an Algebra 2 standard. That's an Algebra 1 standard. Get your crap together. 3x, thank you, 3x plus 0. Crosses at 0. Rises 3, runs 1. Or conversely, falls 3 and runs left 1. That's what 3x looks like. Two absolute values of x, starts at the origin, rises 2, runs 1. That's what she looks like. Oh, I forgot the plus 1, didn't I? Up 1. Dang it. Fudge. Do that one again. Here I am talking smack. Probably because I want to get out of this room. Plus 1. Starts up high. Rises 2, runs 1. That's what that graph looks like. The V is above the line over here. From the left all the way up to 1. From the left all the way up to 1. And we have the equality symbol too, so choice B. 19 and 20 were problems I thought you guys would have some success with, but evidently I was wrong. There's 3 different ways to do 19. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply by a negative 1. So the original equation stays the way she is. The bottom equation becomes negative 2x plus y equals negative 10. The reason I did this is because now I can just add down. I'll have 2 x's. The y's disappear, negative 8. And I wanted only x. 2x is negative 8, x is negative 4. See how long that took? Not long at all. Number 20. which only like one kid in my second period got right, which is the easiest thing on the whole test. You put the left-hand side into y1. You put the right-hand side into y2. You hit zoom. You hit 6. You look at the pretty picture. You hit second trace 5. You get close. You press enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. There's an x value at negative 0.5. Second trace 5. I think what a lot of them did is they didn't hit second trace. They just hit trace and got close. Enter, enter, enter. 4.5. Ta-da! Now I can go enjoy a little bit of lunch. Anyways, that was for y'all, kids. I hope your next test is better. I really do.